Okay, welcome back to the show. Deana Steele from Keys to Kelowna, third time returning guest.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this conversation for a long time, but
So
it seems like every time you turn around, it's like, oh, just wait a little bit longer, wait a little bit longer. So
Yeah, it feels literally like forever ago. The provincial legislation changed, Airbnb kind of got knocked out, and then we were like hopeful for so long, like, oh, maybe it'll get changed back, and it just goes on and on and on. And so anyways, we're recording this March 9th. There is some like glimmer of hope that maybe it comes back early, but you're here to say likely not.
it's another carrot they're dangling, right? The one thing I think we were all hanging on to before was the Property Rights BC, that class action lawsuit and all those steps. Like there were so many things that were kind of keeping us in limbo. And now I feel like here we are again, all feeding into this maybe May 1st. Oh, we're having these conversations. My take, is Kelowna that special for the province to be like, oh yeah, we're just going to change everything. We're going to change the whole legislative calendar and we're going to just do it all for you. We've already pre-planned this. It was already written in stone here. November 1 was when we're going to update the act.
yeah,
But you want us to do it earlier. And the language that they're using, the housing minister is saying, like, you still have an opportunity to increase your short-term rental inventory by offering principal residences. They said the same thing to Vancouver. You have World Cup coming, well, move out of your house and invite other people to stay in your home or stay in your home with you. So when they say that, when they think that there is still a solution for you to exercise, to bring in this tourism traffic, I feel like, why would they do all of that for a small window of time, basically?
So are we only talking about May 1st because of what Gavin do?
Yeah, we're only talking about May 1st is because that's when everyone thinks that our summer season needs to kick off.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come down from the province of being like, hey, like maybe May 1st. It's like us coming up with this fictitious.
It's arbitrary.
Legislature, right? To get it earlier, like apply for the exemption, but instead of waiting till November, comes in May. And that was all hoping for that.
Everyone thinks that it's happening.
Yeah.
So unbiasedly, I would also be, if I was in Vancouver and we didn't get that early exemption, I would also be pissed off. Like,
What, with Kelowna? Like jealous?
well, yeah, and to the province, right? To be like, okay, how are you exempting like one municipality and not us? Like you're playing this favoritism.
The
So
municipality has to apply for it. And you have to have the vacancy, right? Which Kelowna does for the last 2 years.
but changing the date is what I'm saying. Like this is the problem with this legislation in the first place. Like instead of doing these like random picking all this yo-yo that's going on that no one can keep up, like just keep a blanket statement. This is what we're doing. People can plan that way.
Yes.
Because now, like you said, people are hanging on to be like, well, maybe I can rent my place out this summer. Are they keeping it vacant? Are they losing money? And then like,
so another key to this is the practicality. Like half these places, or I mean, way more than half, all are either tenanted, right? Like you only
Well, there's a lot that are vacant.
just wait. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had conversations with owners who took possession 14 months ago at like buildings like Caban, vacant, trying to figure out what they want to do.
Paying the empty homes tax, or they're just factory.
Well, I don't know. They don't tell me what they're doing, and I stay out of that. I stay out of that. A lot of people don't actually realize that short-term rentals do not apply towards exempt you for spec tax. So a lot of people don't think about that.
What is it, 6 months or something? You have to have somebody in there?
Exactly. Yeah. What we should say is like highlight March 31st is the deadline for municipalities to apply to opt out with the province. So that date needs to pass, I think, before the province will say, okay, how many municipalities do we need to discuss here? Yeah. But also like, okay, we lose one summer in the grand scheme of things in cities, like one summer. I know it hurts us as homeowners or small business operators, but in the grand scheme of things, like losing one more summer of having low tourism, I wouldn't say spending because we had a really good volume of visitors last year, but losing one summer in the grand scheme of things, I don't think is a really big deal in the province's eyes. In maybe our eyes it is because we have tiny little pockets. But shrinking every day. Oh man.
So what do you think the rationale is between having an end of March deadline to submit and then like fall for it to go into effect?
Well, just timing, I guess, for all the red tape paperwork. I don't know how it works in the province, why things need to move so slowly, because we've seen how fast they moved it in.
No kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
But to undo the damage, I think it's just timing and planning. And again, City of Kelowna, kudos to NOLA. Kilmartin for making this. I've never seen a city so proactive and getting all their ducks in a row before anything happens. Maybe that'll change things in their eyes. Like if we are the only municipality, maybe they're okay, you guys are organized. You can launch in 2 months after this March 31st deadline. You can launch in 2 months. Maybe. I doubt that it's going to happen because to your point, other municipalities like we asked, why don't we get it? I couldn't imagine the.
So can you just give us the high level overview of right now? So even if we get or don't get the exemption, but what's going to happen to the properties? Is it just the existing previously zoned ones? Is it everything's back on? Does it have to be primary residence, basement suites? What's going to be allowable when we get the exemption?
For the city of Kelowna, they've just approved last Monday on March 2nd, 16 parcels or addresses. That's not just condo buildings. There's 3 multifamily duplex complexes basically that were permitted in McKinley. So that's great. So those 16 addresses that historically were allowed to offer short-term rentals are now going to receive a STR subzone to allow full-time short-term rentals again once the province gives the green light to the city.
Full-time isn't, they don't have to be a principal resident.
Correct. Yeah. So their principal use or primary use could be short-term rentals. Yeah. Which means all of these addresses, so there's 2,196 individual units of those 16 parcels that could be back online, which is crazy because right now we have approximately 450 to 500 short-term rentals licensed currently. Imagine half of those addresses decide to apply and launch as short-term rentals. That's going to triple our inventory basically overnight. That's really painful. It's bittersweet that we have the opportunity, but it's going to hurt all of us because all of a sudden there's just not a lot of tourist traffic right now.
Yeah, it's also down.
It's going to drive the rates down. We can go into that a little bit later. But so 16 parcels. But interestingly enough, there was 22 addresses. So only 16 have applied at this point. So one of the addresses, I don't want to call any particular address out, but I did speak with them and their investors are just risk averse. They don't want to go back to short-term rentals. They've fully converted to long-term, even though when they originally applied for their permit, they wanted to do full-time long-term. They got the tax credit. They gave the tax credit back or revoked it basically so they could go short-term. Did short-term for a few years, lost it, and now they're just not interested. And that signals to me like a group of pretty savvy real estate investors are saying, we're not interested. It's too volatile, which it is. Tourism is crazy every year.
And we talk about this,
it's painful.
On the pod, what happens when the vacancy rate comes back down? Are all these things just canceled again?
It could, absolutely. Government can change as well, right? Like municipal or provincial. So there is no guarantee that we'll be able to keep these full-time short-term rentals. Sure, they might be zoned, but things could change. So it is risky for sure.
It's crazy to me they're not asking. It would be nice to have the option, whether they elect to use it or not. It'd be nice to have.
So just listening to Deana talk, I wonder if they got those places into CMHC financing where they just can't.
They're not stratified?
Or just what if the government doesn't want to back up STU?
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. I just told a special.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And because the city made it so easy to rezone, the easiest probably rezoning application out there, $0. It was literally, it took me 5 minutes. I filled one of them out for the strata property that 5 minutes, $0, approved instantly. If anyone wants to come back, they're going to have to go through the whole rezoning application process. So I made that phone call and I said, at least put your name. You don't have to use it. Nope, not interested. Oh, interesting. So anyway, 6 addresses out there didn't want to partake.
Could their stratas have said no? Then?
Well, that one's privately owned. I mean, giving too much away. You could probably figure it out which building I'm talking to. We'll talk about it.
But it does come, is it now though, stratas, do they have the ability to vote it in or out? If there's strata council? Well,
okay. So basically they wanted the strata executive to confirm if it was in their bylaws allowing short-term rentals.
right.
So city staff do want a copy of those council bylaws. But in order to change that, you need a 3/4 vote. So it's not like council could have said, no, we don't want in. So those addresses, and I'm trying to think of, was One Water ever one of those addresses that maybe was excluded? Because they did change their bylaws from minimum 30-day rentals to minimum 90.
Oh.
So perhaps those 2 buildings were 2 of the 6, because short-term rentals are defined under 90 days.
Yeah.
So perhaps that was one of them. But yeah, you have to have a 3/4 vote to change your strata. Couldn't just opt out. Like there would be an uprising if strata council said, no, we're not going to apply for this.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say like 800 units come back online, which would be great. I mean, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but yeah, what does that do for nightly rates? Like, is the domestic international market, are we just kind of like forgotten about now? Are people like, oh, you can't Airbnb, so like no point going to Kelowna unless you're looking for a hotel? Like, how do we get people back?
Oh, yeah, that's
to
a
stay here?
tourism Kelowna question for sure. And Airbnb's been really good. Like their advocacy committee has been out here really trying to help. I've seen paid ads now out in, and maybe it's my echo chamber that I'm in, but I've been seeing it on random websites. But no, I think we have a PR problem, not just that fact that Kelowna is expensive to stay in because we don't have Airbnbs and hotels are making a killing. I think in 2023, when we lost all of our grapes, I remember reading from guests like, oh, how are the wineries? They did just fine. But that media push out to our major markets, Alberta and Vancouver, that hurt. Then the fires. We've had 2 amazing summers, but no one was here to enjoy them.
And like, honestly, not to be like just totally pessimistic, but we have had 0 snow this winter.
Oh, yeah.
What's our fire season look like this year?
Well, exactly. And that might hit the news too, right?
Yeah.
What's really hurting me is in the media right now is like rents dropping, so many vacant units. Canadians aren't negotiators, so they are now. I have never had to do so much back and forth. Like trying to get a deal or an agreement signed is so hard. It's so hard because it's not like they're looking around. It's just they know that they could probably get a better price.
Yeah.
So all I do every day, oh my God, I'm like, what would you like to pay? What do you think is fair for
I'll
this
pay you.
luxury? Yeah, for real.
Selling houses right now is exactly like that.
I'm sure. Yeah. So
I mean, hopefully, I don't think any of this is going to like change the market drastically, but let's say we get 600-700 units back on for Airbnb. Likely that will chew up a tiny bit of vacancy, put a little bit of pressure on rents, at least like a floor, you know, because I agree. Like rents are just slowly kind of, there's some downward pressure there. So it'd be nice to have that balance.
There is quite a few purpose rentals like that aren't online yet.
Yeah.
holy moly.
And there's also a ton of condos that aren't listed as like vacant, but they're complete and they haven't sold.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have developers that have like, you know, we just had Scott on like 50 units sitting there. Well, that's not classified as vacant because they're not out there yet. They're not in the market. So,
well, the condos aren't counted. Apartments are counted. I'm in all these buildings. The parkades are empty. You stand and you look through the windows. They're vacant. No furniture. Like I'm smelling sewer gas coming out of sinks because I'm like, my neighbor's been vacant for 14 months. It's painful. So, I mean, if we have 700 come online, I think it'll drive the nightly rates down, which is good for the tourists, not necessarily for these really expensive condos. But the rest of them, I think, will still be stuck without a renter, long-term or short-term, because these empty vacant units right now, what are they going to do? Spend $40,000 on furniture packages? Because that's what it costs now to do something good. If you want to throw your IKEA stuff in there, well, your strata council is probably going to nail you with a ton of noise complaints because you have low-quality caliber guests that are willing to book that. I see some really cruddy rentals listed right now. And I'm like, everyone's just waiting in limbo to put that thing on the short-term rental market, which is only going to make it harder for guests to find quality places to stay, which worries me too. I had one guest actually leave. She continued to pay for her 8-week stay. She left after 3. She was so uncomfortable in one of these brand new luxury buildings because of the poor quality tenants. Like you walk up and it's like like long-term residents. You walk up and it's like a smoke pit. Just people smoking out front, incredibly oversized dogs for these tiny little condos rolling through the hallways. Actually, that was what was her like final linchpin, was to these cane corsos. No offense to cane corsos, but that's what they were.
Cane corsos are listening to this podcast.
I'm sorry. It's not your fault. Lunged at her and her dog in the elevator. And then she walks outside and there's just people out there just smoking and loitering. It's been really difficult offering luxury stays when I'm competing with people who are just so desperate to get a tenant in. And the amount of turnover has been incredible too, because some of these guests that I'm like, oh my God, I'll see as I'm walking down the hall, I'm like, oh no, my guest has to walk past this. 2 months later, I'll walk by, I'm like, there's a cleaner in there hauling all their crap out. So the turnover has been really high. And that's another thing too for long-term rentals is people are finding great deals out there. So I find landlords are offering their tenants, reduced rent to keep them, or the tenants are trying to break the lease early because they found a better deal, which is great for people.